All right, what is going on, my beautiful people? We are going to talk about earnings. So I have a bunch of these videos to make right now because we talked a lot about on stream. I did give a pretty good analysis towards the end. You guys go check that out. I know it has been some shorter streams with it. You guys have been getting still coming off my sickness. Be easy with me. We got work picking up. Real estate hasn't gone down, but this is some of the premium selling. You guys could go in the description. I talk about small accounts in this, but I'm going to make a video on that. So be easy with that. But I want to talk about earnings and what's coming up here even tomorrow morning. So I'm going to put this out. You guys will have time on it. But one big thing, please let me give my warning. If you guys understand with earnings, it is a gamble. It's always been a coin toss, but now, especially with the way that the premiums are right now, it is both, it's cheap and expensive. There's some opportunities you're going to be able to find, but at the same time, it's all over the place. So really, if you are a beginner, use this as a chance to paper trade and understand my biggest opportunity I'm seeing that is going to happen is the ability to play these earnings plays after, because we've seen it. Even Netflix and some of these other companies, if you played the day after, Morgan Stanley, I did that play, Goldman, those were 1,000% plays the day after earnings, after it released. So don't worry about trying to catch it. Don't let FOMO get to you. So now that we got that out the way, what are the companies? It's not Spotify. It is going to be Biogen. So this is the main one. I talked about it on stream. I bought some puts on it, and now again, I had to say my disclaimer, not because I have disclaimers in this video. This isn't for disclaimer. I'm worried about getting in trouble. I'm worried about. I just don't want you guys to be irresponsible with these plays, just because again, different account sizes when you see me get this. But I grabbed these. The issue with these puts though is it's going to have a large spread. There's going to be a large spread. It's hard to get, but here, let me give you guys the reasoning. There's going to be a Biogen, Amgen, and I believe one more. I'm going to play Regen. I might get Regen here before close as even a sympathy, but you look at them, where's AMGN, and then there's one more. Yeah, see, Amgen's already got killed, and they're going to report, I believe, today or tomorrow after close. Biogen is tomorrow morning, but there has been a lot of, you could just see the movements on these charts with how they've been, biotechs have operated very, very distinct and differently than a lot of these companies during the slowdown. And if you look again, 3-year, 5-year, I'm going to pull up these companies. Look, they're still holding their highs. So they have more downside risk, but they have been holding, that's why Biogen, I like it. It's right there in the middle. It's kind of, it's well off of those lows from October to a degree, October, December. I'm excited to see what it does, but that's one aspect. And that is very broad. That's broad reasoning, right? That's not really good enough. We're going to talk about the options chain with some of these, and now it's identifying them. That's one thing you guys got to be careful for. If you are going to play these biotechs during earning, you got to be careful that it doesn't get, they price these into the spreads. Go watch the video I made on pricing. But the next thing with these is now the government shutdown's ending. As the government shutdown ends, what's going to happen now is it's going to lead to, now we could get finally reports. So this could be both good or bad. And now here's the thing. I grabbed puts on this. I am waiting to get a call. I might not get the call. I'm not sure. I'm still deciding. But the whole point is, I think these are all the biotechs are primed for a good way. So this is either going to be good for straddles, but like I'm saying, if the premium is too high, like I saw a cheap put, but if the call's not there, don't buy it. Just wait till after the earnings. That's what I'm doing at least. So, but again, as the government shutdown ends and now the FDA, or is it the FDA? They're able now to do drug reporting and give updates on both positive and negative reports with some of these drugs. We're going to finally start to see them go. So that's one thing. And now the last part, let's look at both calls and puts. This is why I'm bringing up Biogen. Take a look at the puts. We got to go to see, and again, when you're seeing here on the February 15th, you guys if you're not getting a lot of price history on the option, that's most likely because they recently probably just added the option, or you haven't, you're seeing like this one, like the 317 they just added. But essentially what I'm trying to show you guys, the options on the put side have kind of come down, especially when you get further out of the money. But let's even the calls, pretty much calls and puts on both sides have gotten pretty cheap. The calls were actually very expensive up until today. I don't know about the risk reward. You got to factor this in with premium. But again, what I'm saying is that puts and calls are at a level the stock moved a lot today. This could change expectations. So now, that being said, I'm watching for some. I feel like one of I'm just giving you the top three right now. These are three companies. I don't know when Regen's reporting, but I know Amgen and Bib is soon. But as these biotechs start to come in and report, you're going to see some of them have crazy earnings that's going to lead to either changing expectations or whatnot. But as I think time goes on here through this earnings season, give or take a few days, give the upgrades and all that, you're going to start to see some of these biotechs start to make some moves, and they've been kind of resilient over the last few months. So it's going to be interesting to see how it is. This is one of my offshoot earnings things to look at. So I thought I'd give this to you guys now, give you something quick to look at. And if you guys have, here's my task for you, go through some of these, go through the earnings. If you haven't seen my video on the biotechs, go through and check that out. We talk about understanding the pipeline and how they report, but this is earnings. So let me give you guys the key here. Earnings with biotechs is very interesting, and this is, I think, a great spot to close on because it's different how investors are looking for growth. One, they're valued based on the size of the company and the drugs in the pipeline. Like Biogen is one that will be dependent upon earnings because they don't have too many drugs in their pipeline that, are dependent upon profit or not. They're already making money, whereas one company may not, some companies, their earnings don't even matter because, it's just a matter if they get approval or not. But again, how a company uses the money, that's what, you'll see surprises in biotechs if, they report they didn't spend as much money or different, certain amount of cash. Or what they'll do is they'll wait for earnings to announce something that wasn't a too big of a material change, or it's going to be a material change that they could have packaged into the right time to be able to say, hey, we're going to be pursuing this drug, or we're going to be at this conference, or we actually found out, or in this day, they're going to say in a week, we're going to find out this data, or we saw stuff that was preliminary, solid, whatever it may be, so on and so forth. But that's pretty much how they work. So what I'm trying to say, make this quick and clear, watch for the biotechs for earnings, be careful with them. And I'm going to say this a lot as I go over some of these earnings videos, and I'm going to go through, make another videos on some to watch starting Wednesday, Thursday, earnings starts to kick off. Be careful, make sure you guys have money. Hopefully you didn't blow up your accounts coming into this. But even then, after the reports, I think we're going to get some cool opportunities, and selling premium is going to be interesting. So I know some of you want to sell premium now, but now understand the timing and how to go about it. So we'll talk about that. I love you guys. Subscribe, like, give me some feedback. Peace.